Hello everyone, you're watching Bollywood Live. I'm Vinay Mishra and look who's here with me, Arjun Rampal.
Hi Vinay, how are you doing?
Welcome to Bollywood Live.
Thank
firstly. The last interview I read of yours, you said that you don't look good anymore. And
Really?
Yeah, it was one of the interviews and I was
Sometimes
like...
people just write what they want to write.
And I'm here sitting just opposite and I can vouch guys, he's still as I'm short of adjectives, still as smoldering as you were.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you.
Talking about performances, you've been applauded for your performance in the final call.
Yes.
What's the reaction like?
Well, I think a lot of people have messaged me on Twitter, and I didn't understand that this kind of a platform could have such a huge reach, and so many people actually watch the show. And it was amazing because a lot of people came up, and I think one of the nicest ones was like from people who've gone through depression, and they said that you portrayed it really, really well, and they really want to know what the outcome of the whole thing is going to be.
So how is it working for such interesting project, because it was a different ballgame for you as well, because this was digital platform. How is it? Was it different or their entire experience?
I mean, it's more or less the same because the medium is different in the sense that you've got more time to spend as a character, on your character, so obviously it's more fleshed out, the part. There's a lot more time you get in terms of trying to explain and to stay with the character, to explain their backstories, explain what they've gone through. But otherwise, it's more or less the same. You're acting, and it's the same as doing a film. Yes, it's more tiring because they want to shoot all of it really, really fast. So, and you have a lot of lines, and you have a lot of, material to cover.
At the same time, I always have this thought: does working on digital platform give you a little bit of relaxation, because you don't have the box office numbers, you don't have those opening day stress and nervousness and all that stuff? Does that ever?
I mean, it has its other set of pressures because when you go onto an OTT platform, which I've been on, and I have been a consumer on those platforms, and I've seen tremendous amount of shows. The minute a show you don't get hooked onto a show, and say you give it 2 episodes to try to get into it, and if it doesn't hook you in, you are onto something else.
Exactly.
Because you don't waste time, and so it's just left, and that's, I think, the worst thing that can happen to anybody. Somebody just leaves your show and goes off to watch something else.
Talking about your character goes through a lot of different kind of things, especially depression and mental illness and all that stuff. Was it really difficult for you to get into that, the skin of that character?
See, if it's not difficult, you shouldn't do it, number one. And that's what I go by. Number 2, I mean, you don't have to get depressed to go into it.
Through the character.
But I think we've all kind of touched depression at some points in our lives. Everybody goes through.
Exactly.
You lose a loved one. You go through that loss, and the whole mourning process becomes kind of is depressing. You're going through so many thoughts, you're going through so many ways of saying, okay, wish I could have had more time, or I could have explained certain things. I wish we could have talked about certain things that we haven't spoken about, and so I draw from all those things, from your personal experiences, and you bring it to it. You kind of amplify it for a character like that. I read a lot of books on depression, and you realize that it's an illness. It is not, something which does not have a cure. It can be cured. It is something where you can go and talk to a shrink, a psychiatrist. You can go reach out to a friend. You can actually get into meditation and become the master of your thoughts, and that for me is the way I kind of tackle the character.
So, what the other part of the question I was talking about, like as you mentioned, that in the entertainment industry, we all go through depression, and people eventually have their own low times and bad times and all that stuff. Now, when you especially play a character like this, which has so much of complexes, you sort of go through the same things once again. Somewhere or the other, did it affect you probably while you were shooting that, it hit your head? Especially it happens a lot of times when you play a little dark character, a grey character. So did it happen with you that, you went back to your, probably that phase of depression?
You have to draw from that. You have to draw from, of course, as I said, your real experiences, your real life experiences. It could be observing somebody else going through depression. I've had friends who've gone through serious bouts of depression, and have come out of it winners. So does that affect me? Yeah, you live with it for a while, and it is there. But characters are like, I call them like light bulbs. They're like light bulbs in a room, and you're the room, and so there are switches which put it on and off. So you have to remember to switch that switch off, and that's what you do, and you kind of train yourself as an actor to be able to do that. You don't get like lost in it. Just make sure when you leave the room you turn off the switch.
Yeah, because a lot of times if you don't switch off the bulb, it probably
you can come back and switch it off.
Okay, that's your secret to switch it off. And now you're a producer as well. So how's the producer affected the actor in you? Because that is something that I always wanted to ask. कि कुछ हो जाता, like there's a little bit of change. I don't know, as an actor, does it happen that once you become a producer, is there a change?
I mean, an actor becoming a producer, I think, is it's like a double-edged sword, because you're creative and you want to give it everything, and so you can get indulgent, you can spend a lot of money, you can, do all the things a good producer, guards himself from, and so I think that's a learning. You get to learn as an actor when you turn into a producer, and whenever I've produced or I'm producing even now, is okay, fine. The thing is, at the edit, finally, a lot of things are going to go. So it's very important to know exactly what you're going to do and do that bit. And that's again the experience an actor can bring to the table, where he says, okay, we don't need more than this. We can do without this, as opposed to getting overindulgent. So either you can get overindulgent and then shoot yourself in the foot, or you can also be practical and but at the same time not compromise with the creative side of it.
It's lovely talking to you, Arjun. Lovely.
Very nice.
And all the best.
Thank you.
I'm really
let me know what you felt.
Obviously, I will do that. This was Vinay Mishra. Stay tuned to Bollywood Live for more updates. Till then, bye bye. Take care.